You're probably wondering why you're not being listened to, why you have a hard time getting respect from men and attraction from women, and I would say that's pretty normal. I always found that the universe was very giving and will attract a reflection of your actions and thoughts. So, if you're a guy that spends all of his time inside doing absolutely nothing, you will attract laziness and some idiotic internet mindset like those black pill, gym rat, cuck, mug, brain rot and stuff. So in this video, we will talk about action steps you can and should take to attract good things and have a vibrant lifestyle. You see, when I was younger I had this problem of never wanting to go out of my room. I was insecure about my entire face, body. I didn't know how to act in social settings. Yet, my father forced me to go out almost every day I spent with him. He pushed me out of my comfort zone hundreds of times and I hated it. I thought he was being a nuisance when it was the complete opposite. Looking back now, I can only feel grateful for all the things we did. I got to experience so many different things and live through some crazy stories that partly made me the person I am today. It would have been such a shame to miss out on those experiences just because of some stupid insecurities when, I tell you man, nobody gave a damn about my face or my body. If anything, it just made it less enjoyable for my friends and family to spend time with me, because I couldn't think of anything else than that rather than being present and having a great time with them. So we all know the obvious step to that, which is to work on your physique and looks, but we're gonna dive into deeper, more actionable solutions in this video, because building a body that you're proud of is not something instantaneous. So to begin, I want you to start saying yes to any person that invites you to an activity or wants to hang out with you. Always trying new things will make your life far more interesting than it is now, even if the idea seems crazy, like for example, exploring a demolition site at night while avoiding cameras and having to be stealthy, or even going to a party. Look, I know most of you are on self-improvement and think parties are not good, and so do I, but doing it every once in a while can make extremely good and fun memories while making you better with social interactions, which is also a huge aspect of self-improvement. So don't be a basement dweller in the name of self-improvement and start considering the social part of it a bit more, especially if you're a guy that only goes out when you have a gym session. Even for guys like us, there is some benefit. Or simply going out with friends, man. You'd be shocked at how much fun you can have in any place if you're with someone you like, but keep in mind that the crazier the context is, the more accomplishment you will get from it. Most of your problems likely come from the fact that you don't go out enough, you have no stories to tell and no life experience. So for the second step, I want you to plan something with a friend, whether it is to simply hang outside or try a new activity in your town. If you are at level 0, which is never going outside, anything will be good, but try to go for slightly uncomfortable things like exploring a place you've never seen, meeting new people, or setting challenges. It can be anything as long as it's physically or mentally demanding. If you want a few examples, you can either go on a long bike ride on a path you've never explored before, set a point far in the distance and walk to it, or go dive with some octopus and jellyfish far from shore, and so on. By doing so, you will most likely discover things about yourself and those around you. Just like this one time, I visited a huge abandoned store with a guy I thought was tough, and as we explored the basement full of tiny rooms, I had to be the one constantly in front. I felt like if we encountered some homeless person, the guy who I thought was my friend would have fled the scene leaving me behind, until it actually happened. I encountered a sleepy homeless guy, and my friend 5 meters behind me was shitting his pants while I was talking to him. We ended up continuing to explore and nothing happened, but it is to show you how such experiences can teach you about yourself and those you surround yourself with. With that being said, I want you to pause this video right now and take action before we get to the first step. If you don't know, you most likely won't do it, so don't procrastinate it and make yourself a favor. Alright, for the third step, you will have to join a club. It can be any kind of physical sport, but I'd highly recommend you to get into martial arts. Doing so is crucial, as knowing how to use your body in a fight is a huge confidence booster. Don't be afraid of failure or being bad. It is the whole point of trying something new. When I started arm wrestling, for example, I was super bad. I didn't understand anything about it, but I participated in some tournaments still. Got destroyed, learned from it, came back and tried again, did a bit better and kept learning while having fun. It has benefited me in so many different ways, and it might even be the reason why I have this channel today, because I simply started uploading the daily workouts I did to get better at the sport. I also noticed that men who had very little physical confrontation to none in their life were the shyest and most uncomfortable with touch. Like, I've had some guys tell me a handshake was weird because, oh, why do you want to touch my hand, man? And surprisingly, they were the ones that never did any contact sport. So to me, being comfortable around other men or anyone in social settings comes down to having some kind of combat experience. The fourth step is one that will annoy you, I feel like, but yet it is a beautiful part of masculinity. I want you to offer your help to people. It can be anyone or even charities, but go out there and do something like going to a shelter to take care of the animals or to volunteer in a hospital if that's what you prefer. It can be anything, or if you want something more simple, ask people you know if they need your help in their garden or in their house, for example. By doing so, you might learn a few skills that you never had the chance to experience. Just like this one time, I proposed my help to a guy I had just met. He had many walls to demolish in his house, so I helped him, we became great friends, and I got to see the logistics behind doing house house refurbishment, which is also helpful in my 20s. In such scenarios, everyone wins and you will have some great stories and accomplishments to tell, like this time I built a shelter for sheep for a district, I think, with a 70-year-old man that I highly admire. Then after that, when it was almost nighttime, I went for a fairly long run with a German Shepherd. You need to keep busy as a young man, and helping those you like with their daily chores can be an excellent way of doing that, while learning about life. The final step is one that I particularly encourage, and it is to see your family more, especially if you don't already do so. I take almost every occasion I get to see my grandparents, like drinking coffee with them every morning, or visiting them with my mother. I learned a lot of things through their wisdom, and made many memories I know I will cherish later in life, so if you have the chance of still having your grandparents or anyone else in your family, consider spending more time with them. You could even tie back to the fourth step and help them with tasks like those times I worked in the garden with my grandfather, or helped him do some renovation in a house they want to sell. You get the point. Now it's up to you to implement those steps as soon as possible if you didn't already do so. I want to hear no excuse, even if you tell me that you don't have friends to go out with. You still can go out on your own and meet people, because that's how you make friends in the real world, by talking to strangers and being outgoing. I feel like everyone is waiting for this one cool, charismatic guy who lives an extremely active lifestyle to invite them to do something, but nobody wants to be that person because of some weirdly placed ego. I think you just don't want to be the one initiating most of the time, and this results into you rarely going out. Who cares if you get rejected? That's on them. You could just stop caring and become the guy that is constantly busy and inviting people out. Doing this has resulted in me living an amazing life full of challenges, new experiences, and fun stuff with friends, so don't miss out on that. It will be uncomfortable at first, but remember that it is what makes you grow. I know video games are addictive, but you have to get over that and grow as a person through failures and opposition. If you want help with that, or fitness and self-improvement, I have a community of brothers down below where we will all push ourselves to be the biggest Sigma chats, skibidi, and stuff. So make sure to join.